For all you drivers out there who are looking for sponsorship, this episode is for you. Hello everybody, this is Enzo. Welcome to another edition of the Race Driver Coach Show, and today, as promised, I've got Mr. Tim Zimmerman with me and we're going to talk sponsorship. So it's going to be a discussion where you're a fly on the wall and we're just going to have our own discussion about how to get sponsorship. Now this is a race driver who has walked the path, the very same path that you're trying to walk right now. So who better to talk to than someone who has actually got sponsorship, nailed it, and is actually now every single day working on that side of his sport as well as training.
Yeah.
So Tim, welcome.
Thanks.
All we want to know, every single driver wants to know, how the hell do I get money to go racing? And most drivers don't come up with the answer.
Okay.
And they don't know where to start. So that's why I brought you today.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably one of the most valuable people I could speak to because you're actively racing in a very high profile championship. But I'll let you talk us through that. Tell us about yourself. Tell us your story.
Okay. So it all started when I was 15. I started with karting, and in that time my dad spent like 100,000 a year. I mean, you guys know how expensive karting is nowadays. And when I was 15, he decided to quit with that. Yeah, he was not able, or he don't want to spend more money into racing.
Yeah.
Not more private money.
Yeah.
So he said to me, if you want to continue, then you have to find your own ways. And for sure in the first weeks I was really kind of depressed because it was close that my career was finished.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found ways to find sponsors and to keep them for a long time. I had 130 meetings with sponsors when I was 16. I started my own company, and there's actually one big key which I learned through those meetings, through those calls I had. The one big key is that you have to offer value.
Mm-hmm.
Now you guys think maybe it's difficult to give them some value from racing, but it's the way how you sell it. If you go to a company and talk just about yourself, about racing, I mean, we are a small family, and nobody cares about racing or you as a race driver, right? Because they get so many sponsorship, what is it called?
Proposals.
Every day, and they are used to those proposals. But if you go there and just ask questions about the problems they have, about the goals they have, to get a picture from the company, then you can offer something to the goals, to the companies, to the issues from the company, and it gets interesting for the CEO.
Okay, all right, take you back. Just a few things that stood out there were, 130 times you got a no. Yeah?
129 times.
29. This is a 16-year-old at that point, going to companies asking for sponsorship before changing his tactics of how to approach sponsorship, going there and getting 129 no's from companies saying no, sorry, yet still carried on. Now tell me about that, because most drivers here have probably tried twice. They've sent in a letter, an email, they haven't even got a response, or it's a no, and they've given up straight away. And obviously you would not be racing if you had given up straight away. So how did you get the resilience to do that?
Okay, I mean, first, for sure I had the goal to keep going with racing.
So big goal?
Big goal, I want to keep going with racing.
Yeah.
And the second thing, what I realized really quickly was that I have to find my own way of selling something.
Yeah.
And I have to learn a lot. It's not like that you go there, and in the beginning I remember I went there with a piece of paper and I wrote on all the things I want to say. For sure this doesn't work. You have to talk naturally, and also you, like I said, 129 times I got a no. because I didn't have the right way how I sell something.
You were selling something instead of listening to them at what they want.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So the value, that was the second thing. The value, you said.
Yeah.
I must go there with value, but it's not all... It wasn't all packaged, this is it, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It was more like, and this is something I want you to tell them, is you extracted what they wanted, and you show them how your sport can actually answer some of them problems, or what you can do.
In the end.
In the end.
In the end of the meeting. So you go there, you don't talk about racing, you don't talk about yourself, you don't, you say, hi, I'm Tim, and I have an idea.
Yeah.
This is all about.
Yeah.
And you don't tell him straight away about the idea you have. For sure he will ask you, but you don't tell him, because first you are interested in the company and how the company works and where the company want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years. Just to get a picture about what they want and where they are at the moment. The CEO is always in the company, really like emotionally into the company, you know.
And their challenges that they want to overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
And let him talk. 90% of the first meeting, you need to let him talk. And the biggest mistakes the car drivers do, and I experienced because I was coaching some of them, they went to the company and they start talking about themselves, you know.
I've done this.
I done this.
I really want to be a race driver.
K3, I drove K2, I drove K-Set, I drove this championship. But the CEO doesn't care,
Keep going.
Doesn't matter at all. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, it is. They don't even know the difference between F1, F2, F3.
No.
And if you start talking about karting, you start talking about all these different championships, you've lost them. They don't care. They're just there with a certain 5 minutes of their day they've given you to come in, and you've got to really be all about them.
Yeah.
True?
Right.
You've got a certain challenge. What I did ask you this before. There's two things I want to ask you. Is the first one is, what do you ask them? I know you've got like 27 questions, you said. What's the typical opener when you're in there? What are you asking them precisely when you go in, just so people can start their own list of questions? What would you say would be a good thing to find out about that company?
Okay, I will not say everything now, because I have my own video course.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. It's got a video course.
No, basically you start with the goals from the company.
Start with the goals.
Start with the goals, and then the second thing is the issues, or what the problem is to get those goals. And
what's the most common ones that they tell you?
The most
problems. Company problems. What do they want help with?
It's basically there are three problems they have. First problem, it's kind of a marketing problem. They need to represent the brand to get more sales, to get fame, or I don't know. So the brand is one part.
They want help on their reputation.
Right. Or to get more employees. The second thing is the employees, the motivation of the employees, the feeling in the company, that internal, everything everything internal.
The atmosphere, the morale, we get that.
Right. And the third thing is the customers, so external. Brand, internal, external. So.
Okay, so 3 different areas.
Yeah.
Now that staff morale and the work ethic and environment is massive. As you can imagine, just like a race team, if the mechanics are unhappy, then they don't work very well. If the engineers are unhappy, or the drivers, they don't work very well. So for a company, their machine has to be operated, like the whole machine has to be operated by people who want to be there. It feels good, and they're getting the best out of themselves. So they can use motorsport for that.
Right.
Yeah? And that would be, what would it be? Entertainment? They come and... how do you do that? Okay,
you do some racing events, taxi driving. I mean, there are a lot of
passenger rides.
There are a lot of possibilities. For example, I have a sponsor, and every guy who gets a company car, first he need to go to me. Then I teach him how to drive a car in a proper and safe way. And
fast way.
in a fast way. No,
Yeah.
in a safe way.
Safe way.
And yeah.
Okay.
This is one example.
So it's more hands-on experience, and you can offer that, and most people can't. You know, normally they're come down to our golf club,
Yeah.
hit a bit of golf, but the good thing, and I don't want you to forget this, is when you're in motorsport, it's so different that people find it exciting. And yeah, they've been to race schools for 20 minutes and done things like this, but you can offer them something that's exhilarating and they don't normally do. They can't really go down the tennis club and drive a car and thrash a Ferrari around or whatever, a Porsche in your case. So that is something you can offer. Most people don't think about it. And even if the sponsor owns the car, some championships where you have to buy your own race car, if the sponsor owns the car and they actually own it, and they can use it as track days and use it themselves and you race it, it's kind of a nice way of getting the car in the cheaper championship.
Yeah.
So what are you racing this year?
Porsche Carrera Cup. You see it here?
I don't know if you can see that, if it's zoomed in, but 17 days left before he starts. And your championship actually started when? When did you start to get the money in for it? For this year?
For this year. Normally it starts in September.
So September.
But it
So
doesn't mean that I start working in September. Yeah, I work 12 months.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the moment I have 20 sponsors and I'm working with them really close every day. It's not like that you just put your sticker on the car and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to have a concept with them and just think about the goals they have and not about your goals. I mean, in the end, for sure, you are looking for budget for your career.
Yeah.
But if you are working with sponsors, then just focusing on them and not on yourself.
And what's important, say if you offer them a package that's hospitality for building staff morale, it's $5,000. They say, whatever you charge, I don't know, for that package, for what they want, 10 people or whatever. How much, do you do it in a way that only costs you this much and then the rest is on racing, or do you do it really clever with other partnerships?
There are different,
pay for the actual day.
Yeah, there are different ways to do it. It all depends on the meeting where you decide that you work together and how they can handle with those big numbers. You know?
Okay.
If you tell him like, okay, this package is 100,000, this will not gonna work because they are like they will be shocked, you know.
So everyone's got a different price for what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all
basically
tailored.
yes. And the question you need to ask them first is how much you would give for this package.
Yeah.
You know, just that you get a feeling where he is emotionally with this package.
Yeah.
Don't shock him, and yeah. If he say a number which is above this, you had in your head, then don't tell him like, okay, this you don't get, this you don't get, this you don't get. So just tell him what he will get.
Yeah.
You know, this sounds completely different. It's a completely different
Makes
way.
it
So
easy.
this is what I learned during my sponsor career. How I tell people something.
Yeah.
That they get it in a right way and they don't feel okay, now they lost something, or you know, they always need to feel the value.
And was you really nervous when you first did it?
For sure.
When you think back, you think, oh, I can't believe
For sure.
I said that. I can't believe I was that timid.
Yeah.
So it is something you have to go through.
Yeah.
You have to get the 129 no's before you get down. You've got to remember that because they're expecting. A lot of people think, right, I can't sell, so they don't bother.
Yeah.
But you really got to trip up. And we were speaking about this on the track. Same thing.
Yeah.
You've got to mess up before you get it right.
And now I'm happy to say that I found a way that actually I always win the meeting.
Always win the meeting. And I remember you said that. You go in there knowing this person is going to say yes, or they're going to give me somebody who will.
Yes.
And that's the kind of attitude you go in with as well. So that they can see that through the body language. So be careful.
Yeah.
You got to believe that. Right. So we've got a video series, as we just mentioned, coming out right now. It's out now.
Out now.
The link is going to be underneath the video. Take a look at this because this is going to be amazing. And we might do a bundle where they get mine and yours. We haven't even talked about that. So yeah, go beneath this video. You'll see a link. You'll see his video series. And tell him about it. What comes with it?
There are 6 videos, including documents, and you also have the possibility to have a FaceTime call or Skype call with me, and I can give you a sponsor coaching. And many car drivers I coach, they they found a lot of budget for
So it's working.
for the season. It is working.
Tremendous.
Yeah, it is working, and
It's amazing actually, because with the Get the Drive that I did, it's called Get the Drive, which is lots of different ways to get the drive, not just sponsorship. And the stories you hear from people, and they just tried one thing and it worked. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god! You're like,
Yeah.
no shit, man.
Yeah.
It does work. You just got to do it.
Right.
So I know, because I've already seen your
yeah.
package and everything, and the video series, and it is brilliant. Everything in there's tried, everything's proven, tested. So it's time that you did that. Have a look at it, and it might be something for you. Any leaving thought, words of advice for the people watching on the sponsorship?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
In the beginning, don't give up. Yeah, it will be tough in the beginning, and for sure you will struggle mentally maybe if you get a no, because a no doesn't feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just keep on working
Yep.
with this stuff, and then you will find your way.
So if they're wanting to race in 2020, start now.
Yeah, start now.
Okay,
Find a
say no
way.
more.
Yeah.
See you next time.